This meeting is being recorded.
Good evening,
Good evening, everyone.
We're echoing. Can you mute in until I ask questions? Somebody is echoing. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Today is Thursday, April 27th already. I can't believe it. The month has flown by. And I just want to say that this course is only 20 days. We're almost out of this course already. And I want to just go over a few announcements. Remember, if you are looking for employment and you feel that you're capable or have some form of experience in front office or whatever, please contact Career Services. They're there to help you. They will help you locate, employment. And also don't forget, the Career Services, they have been sending out reminders about mock interviews. They do that on Tuesdays. They have been sending those emails out and saying that everyone is not responding or participating. In order to graduate, you have to have participated in the mock interview. So you will be unable to graduate without, submitting your responses or actively participating in the mock interviews. Remember, this is to prepare you. They're doing these mock interviews. They're in constant contact with employers. So they have that upper hand with helping you getting that employment that's needed. Also, like I said, contact Career Services if you're looking for some form of employment. If it's front end, remember you can take the MOA, which is a medical office assistance exam prior to graduation if you're interested in that as well. Contact the registrar's office and also contact Career Services if you want to find a job now while you're, if it's part-time or whatever, if you want to find something. And some employers are hiring a lot of our students who are still in school, and then you can get that boost in income once you get your certification. So please reach out to Career Services. They're definitely awaiting your call to be able to help you all who might have, financial need and just some extra income. Contact them. They will definitely be willing to assist you. Again, I did post the project for 157, module 157, for those of you who are having difficulty with accessing or getting involved or, just completing your labs in module 157. All of our instructors have posted this project. We do not want anyone to fail. I do understand that some people are having difficulty with their computer or the computer is not compatible. So you do have an option. So it's no excuse saying that your computer is not working or you don't have access. We have posted a project. I sent it out to everyone in reference, if you're having difficulty, please do that project. It is due at the end of the module. It's only 20 days in this module and we're almost done. Next week, or I think a couple of days into the following week, will be done. I want to also inform we have 6 graduates that'll be graduating on May 10th. Those graduates are Jada Avenger, Tabitha Como, Amber Cooper, Brittany Fletcher, Kiana Surf, and Samara Stevens. You all will be graduating May 10th. You will be finishing. That graduation will be held in October, our fall graduation. We have a graduation next week, so I will be unavailable next Friday. I will be in Lafayette at graduation, May 5th, and then we have another fall graduation in October. So remember, these graduates, this is contingent upon you passing this module. If you do not pass module 157, you will not be graduating on May 10th. But if all of your assignments are up to date, and as far as, so far, these are the graduates, 6 graduates for May 10th. But remember, you have to successfully pass this module, which we're in 157. So keep up the good work because these 6 students will be on to their career. They'll just have to schedule with the registrar to take their certification exam. And remember, you must complete your mock interviews. I know they have been reaching out to you all, everyone who's eligible to do the mock interviews now. If you do not complete that mock interview, you will not graduate. You will not be eligible for graduation. That is a part. They're trying to prepare you as much as possible to get that job that you want. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Like I stated, Ms. Danielle Washington. I'm gonna share my screen with you. Ms. Danielle Washington is another one of our great instructors. This is the video on a Validity Clearinghouse, when we all spoke about how you get a clear claim and what you need to do to get your claims processed. This is a video that she posted for everyone for us to share on the Clearinghouse.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ms. Danielle Washington, and I am going to be your virtual tour guide on today. Today, we're going to be doing a Unitex Training Academy virtual tour on Availity. Availity is a very popular clearinghouse that is used for a lot of medical billing and coding facilities to actually import trips for processing to their third parties, such as payers, behavioral health claims, to United Healthcare, Blue Cross Blue Shield, family practice claims. Any type of billing that can be done is normally transported to a clearinghouse for further processing. So today we're going to do a little bit of a trip. I'm going to introduce you to an actual clearinghouse where we're going to look around and kind of see the different functionalities in it and how everything works in there. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay.
Can you all hear?
So this is Availity again. When you go into Availity, you're going to see several different things. And one of the first things that you're going to see is your patient registration. You're going to see claims and payments, my provider, reporting, and payer spaces. Now, one of the main functionalities of the clearinghouse is the ability to send and receive EDI files. So as I'm sure a lot of us have learned in our coursework, our EDI files are generated from our billing system, and the billing system automatically composes this file for us and makes it easier for us to transfer them back and forth between different systems should we need to use it for anything else, or should we need to share that information with different sources, such as a clearinghouse. So again, Availity, one of the things that I really like about Availity is its functionality. It's really easy to use. Most of the function keys within the system are pretty self-explanatory. I always say whenever you get into a new clearinghouse system, it is always good to get in and kind of just search around and look and see everything that the system has to offer. You may even come across some things that is in your clearinghouse that your billing system may not offer. And at that point in time, you're able to utilize your clearing system for that information. For instance, most of the billing systems have what's called an aging report, where you can get in there and look at claims that was previously billed and previously paid. In this system, you're also able to do the exact same thing. You're able to actually go in and look at some of the claims that you recently billed. Have they processed, and how did they pay under your transaction log? I'm not going to actually click on anything because, again, this is an actual live clearinghouse system, so there is personal health information in here. So we aren't going to actually click on anything, but I am going to give you the tour in the functionality of the keys. So going into our claims and payments, again, you can go in and look at your claim statuses. Let's say that you have billed out a claim and it is past the 35 or the 45-day mark that the insurance company normally tells you it'll take for that claim to process. Of course, we can always go to the IVR system for that particular payer and get claim status, but we want to make it as easy as we possibly can. In making it easy, we would go under our claim status here, track the actual claims beginning and end. Of course, at this point in time, whenever you go to actually go back and look at any type of claim status, you're going to have to provide some personal health information for the patient, information that you're looking for. So you can do that in your clearinghouse to check claim status. You can also review your remittance devices. Again, this information is also usually readily available in your billing system, but we are working with a computer system, so there may be times when that particular rebate section of your billing system is not available to you. Now you have a backup source. So any claims that passes through your clearinghouse to then be processed at the payer, you're going to be able to look at the remittance here and see exactly what that insurance paid, what that insurance company paid, if they denied any claims, if we need to bill any claims. You can all find that under your remittance advice. Appeals. If for any reason you need to actually get an appeal done, if you have billed out a claim and the claim has been rejected for more than 2 or 3 times, at that point in time, maybe just after the second time, I would definitely say to go ahead and start the appeals process. This process can be pretty tedious when you're doing it paper. And again, it's a lot to keep up with. So we do want to make sure any type of electronic communication that we can use to send information back and forth between the facility and the payer, I would definitely recommend that because you're able to track it easier. You can always go back and look at it in the system once it's been completed, and you can physically track each stage of your appeal in here. So once your appeal is actually created within this particular system, you can then go back and see when it has been received by the payer and when it is in the processing phase with the payer. And of course, when it has ended and also what their findings were. At that point in time, if you need to go any further with the appeals process, I'm pretty sure that they will give you information within this electronic system to let you know what your other options are once you have started that appeals process. Overpayments. This happens often sometimes. We actually are paid over for a specific claim for some reason or another. When the payers do their internal audits, at that point in time, they will realize that you are overpaid for something. In many instances, overpayments are sent to you via paper to the payer. But in some instances, they do send over the overpayments electronically, and you, as the biller, is expected to go and look at those overpayments and also rectify those. And they give you some different options in the way that you can rectify those. You can rectify those by either sending a paper check with the funds that was overpaid, or you can do an electronic payment, of course, through the actual overpayment tab here. Professional claims. Let's say something happened to your billing system itself internally and it maybe is down and it's not currently functioning, but you have some claims that you need to send out to some of your payers. You can actually go in here and complete a professional claim from beginning to end, just as you would in your billing system. It will be in the form of a HIPAA 1500 form. Of course, all the information that you would normally pre-populate in your billing system, you would have to manually put that information here because that information is not going to pre-populate because you are building that claim from scratch, but you are able to do that. Facility claims is basically just going to give you a list of all the claims that you've ever billed through this particular facility. Attachments, if you need to actually upload something, let's say for instance you're going to be doing an appeal and you want to send evidence to back your claim for the reason why they should actually pay you for this claim. In most instances, you need to send paperwork in order to get that done. You're able to upload attachments here. You can upload as many attachments as you need to, and it will store it for you almost the same as it does as our Moxie Manager that is in our e-learning site. It stores all of that information for us, and then we're able to go back and pull it and attach it and use it in different ways that we see fit. The View and Essential Plans is not a tab that we normally use a lot of times we are in our clearinghouses. And of course, your send and receive EDI files. So if for any instance or any reason your billing system does not actually push your claims to their payers, like for instance, if the clearinghouse is not built in, A lot of billing systems nowadays have clearinghouses that are built into their billing system. For instance, you may be billing in a, let's say, RxMT billing system, but you don't physically go into Availity to push those claims through. Reason being is because Availity has actually been inputted into that billing system. So when you hit submit, it automatically transports that claim into that billing system and then sends off the processing file. But I have seen in billing systems where the billing system will only compose the billing for you, whereas you will key in all of your CPT codes, your diagnosis, you will basically build the entire claim. Once the claim is built, it goes into a file, which is normally referred to as a batch. You will gather that batch, and then you will actually go here to send that batch off to the payer in order for those claims to be processed and paid. Now, anytime you go into an actual clearinghouse such as this one through Availity, you want to be mindful that when you submit those claims, unlike your billing system where you will be able to readily see any rejected claims, in your clearinghouse, you have to actually go in and search those claims. So let's say, for instance, we have created a batch, we have attached that batch, and we have sent it off to the payer for them to begin processing those claims. Normally, about a 3 to 4 window of time. Sometimes it may be about 5 or 6 hours, a window of time that you can go back and look. I've went in previously and tried to look at claims that are processed within a certain amount of hours, and those particular claims were still in the processing phase. How do we know when that claim has actually completed the processing phase in our clearinghouse? So there are different identifiers. One is you will now see that claim, it will not show in a processing phase anymore. You will either see it as accepted or rejected. Those are the two things that you're going to look for. So of course, all of your claims that have been accepted within that particular batch, then those are good to go. But all of the ones that were actually rejected, we want to make sure that we pay attention to those rejected files, read the reason for the rejection, and actually get those cleared up and send those back down for processing. Because what will happen is, even though we've batched these claims and we have said that in our minds, these are clean claims, the billing system on the end has caught something that we didn't catch as billers, human error. It has caught that, and now we need to go in and actually correct that information so that that claim can continue processing and paying. So file restore, let's say we put some information in here and we make a mistake and delete it. You can go back and ask for a file restore, and I've actually been able to do this before in Availity. And it's not actually only deleted files. The system will only store a certain amount of claims at a time. Let's say something happens and we need to retrieve claims from 6 months ago. We will actually need to put in a file restore and ask for those claims from that day of service, because 9 times out of 10, especially if you're billing a lot of claims at a time, the system has already kicked those claims out to make room for more claims to be able to populate. But Availity does give you the ability to actually go back and restore those files. So EDI reporting preferences. If for some reason you want to be able to monitor or report specific things within your billing system or things that is going on with your payer, you can go in here and set parameters to show different type of EDI reports. So that's done under your preference. The connection services, not something that we use very often within our clearinghouses. The EDI plans. So depending on the payer that you're using or sending these claims to, there may be different plans that they have in place that they would like you to utilize over another plan. And you would know that by speaking to your peer directly. For instance, if it's claims that's going to Blue Cross Blue Shield, you would reach out to them and see how do they want those claims to actually come across, and you would go in and make your edits there to match their preferences. So your payer list. And I'm not gonna click on the pair list here because there's also a pair spaces here, and these two things are basically the exact same things. But as you can see by the little parts here, you can go and make these your favorites so that they would appear under your top applicants. My top applications, if you heart any of these particular items, it will be on your front screen, and whereas now you would have to actually drop it down, it would be just on your front screen and you can just click on it from there. Transaction enrollments. So very, very important tab, and also a very convenient one, I find it to be. When you are credentialing for any of your insurance companies and they have requested that you complete an enrollment form, it may be for EFT funds, or it may be for just EDI enrollment, period. If it is, then you want to actually go in and submit a transaction enrollment form. And this form of Medicaid providers will use Change Healthcare because they are really Medicaid based. they communicate more so with a lot of the Medicaid payers, whereas Availity, you'll find a lot of your commercial insurance in there. So that's kind of the difference between those two. Whenever there are any changes or anything that has gone on within the actual clearinghouse, it will send you messages here, and you'll be able to read any of your messages, anything you have pending, or anything that you've received lately from the clearinghouse. So you will see that there. So you do want to make sure that you pay attention to your messages. Patient registration, which is our eligibility and benefits inquiry. If we need to actually run eligibility on any of our payers to make sure that this is a valid insurance benefits for any particular patient, we would do that under, of course, eligibility and benefits inquiry. Authorizations and referrals. If for some reason we wanted to actually complete an authorization in the clearinghouse, we can do that from here also. And also we can send referrals back and forth between physicians. If I'm not mistaken, in order to actually complete that underneath Availity, the facility that you're sending it to has to have an account also, so that you two can communicate between Availity as far as sending and receiving referrals. Of course, we do not know that there's an easier way to do that, which is just to basically send it via fax directly to that particular person. But if for some reason we did want to utilize this function in Availity, it is available. View essential plans, and this is just different plans that may actually populate in the Availity system. Maybe something that came up that was new, that they're not actually showing in pair spaces as right now. You can go in and look at those. Patient care summary inquiry. They have a different portal for patients where they can actually create a login and a username and password, and they can set up an account and they can actually track all of their remittance devices in Availity also, and also communicate with the payer that sent over the information. If they have any questions or want to send them something specific, they can type it in there, and you as the provider that actually filled the claim out can actually see the patient, the inquiry. So we went over all of those. And we went over all of those. And also the reporting tab, pair spaces, Availity list. Okay. So we pretty much covered everything. Excuse me, we pretty much covered everything in the clearinghouse and all the functionalities. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video and found it interesting, or even taken away something from it that could possibly help you whenever you do start to work in your field of study. Until next time, guys, have a good one. Bye.
So I'm going to send this YouTube video link to you all to review. This is very, very helpful in reference to when you start employment. Like this particular program has everything that you would need. Most systems and most offices now use this system to get, because you can do everything. You know, it's a clearinghouse. You can check your claims. You can go in, see if you need to update. They'll let you know if you have errors. I mean, it's a great system. And the other system is Change, but most doctors' offices use this. Someone said they can't hear anything. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you. Like halfway through the video, it just went silent and then the sound came back on.
Yes, Samara told me about that. I'm going to send you the link, the actual link that you all can review, and you'll have everything. But it's very, very important. I'm going to send this particular video as well with the other information that I shared, as well as the link to the video. So you'll have two videos in your Zoom lecture. And I'm also gonna email you all the actual link for the video. And then in your Zoom lecture, it's gonna be this part. So I'll email for those who can't get emails, like you'll have it either way it goes. I'll email it both ways. Does anyone have any questions? Remember, Samara, you haven't sent me any points. You're about to graduate on May 10th.
I know.
Did you do your mock interview yet?
No, ma'am.
Oh, so you one of them, huh, Samara?
It's always falling day I work and I don't get off until like 6:30, 7 o'clock.
But did you send her that, letting her know because she can arrange something with you?
No, I didn't know I can do that.
Yeah, that's why, look, we have to ask questions.
Well, I'll email her back to,
Yeah, just
this
email her,
afternoon.
email and let her know that the Tuesdays, by being every Tuesday, that you're unavailable at that time. That's your work schedule. And if you can possibly do something at a different time.
Okay.
Yeah, because no one can graduate now without doing the mock interview.
Okay.
And they're willing to work with you. They'll do, even if it's like if you get off at 4, like this time, you want to meet with her this time when we're doing Zoom, you still will be counted as Zoom and you can do your interview.
Okay.
Yeah, so just let her know, because they're sending me emails for everybody that's not responding. So yeah, I think that was with Tiffany Francis, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so just email her. She's willing to work with you.
Okay.
Yes. So any other questions you all might have? Samara, what you gonna use those points on the end?
I'll send it to somebody that needs them.
But then you can also use them for your labs.
Ma'am.
Yeah, you can use some of the points that you have for your lab.
Okay.
So just let me know how you want to use, and I'll apply them.
Yes, ma'am.
So you all have a fabulous Thursday weekend. If you need anything, please reach out to me. I will be sending this to you all later on this evening.
All right, thank you.
All right, bye-bye.